classroom. I'm so excited to be in here. I love the couch. It's awesome. um, so I'm just gonna jump right in, okay? What have we been talking about? I hope you know, because I hope you've been watching the videos. We've been discussing what's your vision. July, our lesson is all about perspective, right? Our mental vision. So week 1, I defined what perspective was. It's your mental view, how your mind processes what your eyes see. It's a state, another definition is a state of one's ideas based on the facts that are known to them. And then it's a particular way of thinking about something based on your history, ideas, experience, and beliefs. And I have a really good example that I'm going to share with y'all about that definition, maybe kind of bring it home. Y'all know that we have been mandated to wear masks now, and some people don't like it. Some people look at it as the government may be trying to take their freedoms, or going into socialism, things like that. But both my parents had COVID, and my dad said something to me that really hit home, because I've kind of been like, I don't know how I feel about all of it. And my dad said, I will tell you, if you've ever been through it, you would beg people to wear a mask. If wearing a mask keeps anybody else from having to go through what my mom and my dad had to go through, he said it's 100% worth it. And he said, what's it going to hurt? And so, and I think that's just such a perfect example of what I'm talking about with perspective. And that it says, based on your experience and your beliefs and your history, my mom and my dad have a completely different view of the coronavirus and mask and this whole pandemic, because they've been through it, right? Some of us may have been tested. I've been tested. Some of us may have had family members where maybe they thought they were, but my parents and everyone who's had it, this whole situation is completely different perspective for them than us. And I hope that kind of drives home what perspective is and how your mental view of something can change based on your experiences. So that was week 1. Week 2, we discussed having an eternal perspective. And that was talking about looking at a situation through eternity's eyes and through someone else's eternity. Focusing where you're in a situation, you're focused on people, not things. You have patience, not frustration. You try to have understanding instead of judgments. And you have love, not self-centeredness. And when we look at any situation through the view of, gosh, what's more important? Is being right more important, or showing love more important? When we can look at a situation from an eternal Jesus perspective, it makes it a lot easier to be kind to somebody who you may not necessarily feel like deserves it. So then this week, we're going to move on to what I'm going to call our life perspective, right? Last week was an eternal perspective. And for those of us that are saved, yes, we should have an eternal perspective because that is our home. But you're really looking at how I live on earth. How is it affecting someone else's eternity, right? How is my actions going to affect this lost person who's watching me? And so this week, it's more about you, how your perspective can affect your life. And guys, I'm going to tell you, how you see, mentally take in and process every situation, that has the power to determine your entire life. So, and you may be asking like, okay, why are we learning about this? Because guys, this is huge. And it took me such a long time to learn this. And guys, I will tell you, most adults don't even understand the importance of perspective and don't take the time to look at it from the whole picture, or take the time to get all the information before they start ranting, raving, judging, posting. This is something very personal to me because it's something that I had to learn in my adult life. And I learned it the hard way. I really did. I learned it through going through a lot of stuff with my sister. I had to learn to look at the whole picture and decide what's important and what's not. You know, is it really important to be right and then us fight all weekend and it be miserable? You know, is it really that important? Some things, absolutely. Biblical truths, absolutely. I'm going to stand on them. And I'm not going to argue to my death with someone who doesn't believe them, but I'm going to stand on biblical truths. But other things, it's okay to let it go. And I also had to learn this at work. I had just a banker. She's actually one of my best friends now. But I learned a lot through her. And man, we couldn't stand each other. Like, it was rough, y'all. It was bad. And I learned through her so much too. And now she's one of my best friends. Love her to death. She's an amazing person. But I had to learn and grow a lot to get to that point. So I can tell you firsthand the power that having a perspective of the whole view and being able to look at somebody else's side, empathize with someone, which means put yourself in their shoes, how much power it has on your own life. Not only did these things help, you know, others around me, for me to learn to just let things go with my sister and to look at a big picture, but it freed me. It freed me from being so upset, taking everything so personal. You know, it freed me in a way I never imagined, and in my entire life, not just with her. And so I can tell you, my perspective going through it, I can tell you 100%, this can change your life for the better if you really take in what I'm telling you. So back to, you know, it has the power to change your life, right? So just think about this. If you look for the negative in every situation and moment in your life, you're going to find it, right? If you look for the positive in every situation and moment in your life, you're going to find it. Same situation, your outlook determines how you handle it and how you see it, right? An example of this, I think a good one, is when I met Josh. We'd met before, but when he finally decided to talk to me and got the nerve, we were at a fall festival for church, right? And we went to a really small church. There's not a lot of people our age, so this is like fall festival with like some more senior people and some younger people. Not really my jam as a 19-year-old freshman in college, right? But I had come home to see my dad for his birthday on Halloween, and they were going to the fall festival, so I went. And if I had gone to that and been like, oh, this is so dumb, I'm so much cooler than this. I was actually on crutches because I fell and sprained my ankle. You know, I'm hurting, I don't want to be here. If I had looked at that and had that attitude, my husband may have been like, she is a witch. And he may never have wanted to talk to me. But I went to it with like, okay, this is fun. I went on the hair ride. It was kind of hard to get in there with crutches into the trailer. But I was like, okay, I'm going to have fun. And that moment changed my entire life. Because that's when Josh finally got the nerve to talk to me. I went back to Tuscaloosa the next week, packed up all my stuff, and moved back home. I'm not saying y'all should do that, but it changed my perspective of that night, changed my entire future, right? And Josh is, because he's so blessed to have me as his wife. Just thought I'd throw that in there. All right, so your life is determined by your mental view of every situation. Do you want a life full of drama? Look for ways to get offended and upset in every situation. I promise you, most people do. Most people want drama because you can go on Facebook. People getting upset over everything that has nothing to do with them. Nothing. I have laughed and laughed about this carnival coming to town and how upset people have been. They have called the mayor. They have called the city council upset. They have called the news stations upset that this carnival is in Florence because of the COVID. Just don't go. Just don't go. You know, that's nothing. If you don't want to go, don't go. If you want to go, go. It's your choice. But you don't have to get so up in arms that you're calling the news. Like, really? You know, like, there are moments I'm like, yeah, we're going to call the news. There are moments I may call the mayor, city council. It's going to be over something that really affects my life, though, you know? Like, and it's just such an example to me of, if you want to find drama, you can find it. You know, if you want a life with no friends, look for all the ways that your friends are bad. Look for everything they do that drives you crazy. Do they drink too much Dr. Pepper? Are they too loud? Are they not loud enough? Do they not wear their hair the way you like it? Do they not have the clothes you have? If you don't want to have friends, just look for reasons you don't like people, right? If you want a life with no success, if you want to live a life of failure after failure after failure after failure after failure, just look for ways that you can't do it. Look for all the obstacles that can happen. Don't even try, right? You won't try. Look for everything that could go wrong in a situation. If I go out for softball or the volleyball team, and this could happen, oh my gosh, and then I could miss this, and then this will happen, oh my gosh, and then this might happen, and then I'm just scared, and you know what's going to happen? You are going to bomb your tryout because you, in your mind, have worked up all the ways that you could fail, that you have made your mind mentally believe you're going to fail. And so you get to tryouts, and you're like, here it comes, and then you fail, right? I have told my children over and over and over, this has been the boys' biggest struggle, is getting out of their head and just playing. They're both crazy athletic, like their mama, and they're so athletic. Hunter will go up against anybody on Josh's football team. Varsity boys, he will throw his weight around, his little bitty old self, and he will hang with them. He is so athletic. But against kids his own age, he starts to think of everything. And he just starts to panic of, oh, I don't want to mess up, which makes him mess up. That's his perspective, right? And if you want a life of failure, just tell yourself all the ways you're going to fail. Or you can have a life full of success and joy, right? But in order to do that, you have to look at the positive things. First of all, I think you should look at what God wants for your life. And then, and decide, and God loves us and he wants us to be happy. And he's given us passion for things to be able to serve him and to have that in your life. So look at what you're good at, what you're passionate about. Look at the ways God might be using that. And then think of all the things that you can do and all the ways that you need to reach that goal. Have a plan. Trust that God is powerful enough to help you reach that goal and go do it. Are you going to have failures? Absolutely. Are you going to mess up? But your perspective in those moments of, okay, I messed up, let's get up, let's go, come on, God, you got me. That's where you're going to have success. All right, so I have several quotes that I found that I want to share with y'all. If I can get to them. It says, a bad attitude can literally block love, blessings, and a destiny from finding you. Don't be the reason you don't succeed. Your attitude, not your aptitude, will determine your altitude. So your attitude, not if you have the ability to do it, but what you think about will determine how far you go. This is one of my favorite. Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react. What you think, you become. What you feel, you attract, and what you imagine, you create. And then this one is, our reaction to a situation literally has the power to change the situation itself. I want you to think about that. Your reaction literally has the power to change it, how you respond and react. And then the last one is just kind of silly. So far, you have survived 100% of your worst days. You're doing great. You've survived everything, right? You made it this far. You can do it. You just got to believe. And the Bible even talks about our attitudes. And about, specifically, the verses, it's a woman's mindset and attitude. And it says that it's better to live alone in the desert than with a quarrelsome, complaining wife. God says it's better to live alone in the hot desert than to have to live with a woman who's complaining and fighting all the time with a bad attitude. Proverbs 25:24 says, It's better to live alone in the corner of an attic than with a quarrelsome wife in a lovely home. So he's saying it's better to have like a cardboard box and be alone than have a mansion and have to live with a wife that's constantly fighting and upset. And then Proverbs 27:15. A quarrelsome wife is as annoying as a constant dripping on a rainy day. You know that dripping sound? Constant dripping? It's kind of annoying, right? Or, if it's like, happens like right in the middle of your class, kind of disrupts things, right? That's what an argumentative, bad attitude wife is like. Or woman, friend, daughter, whatever you want to put in there. That's what God says. All right, so I want to challenge you this week. My challenge for you is to spend an entire day focusing on positive. If you mess up, flip it. Oh, that was a negative attitude. Let me think how I can flip that positive. An entire day, I want you to try to find the positive in everything. All right? And see what a difference it makes. See the good in situations, see the good in people. And then I want you to let me know how it goes. Again, I want you to let me know how it goes. So if you don't tell me, I'm not going to think you did it. All right, girls. I love you. I hope you had a great week. I miss you all, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.